So 1 minute template, took a short, was one and done on the day. Institutionals came in and hit that pretty significant gap up, and we cleaned out some levels. I've had a few rotations, and per many of my recent videos about looking for patterns, we had a W pattern and some lift back into the prior range and sliding back. But anyhow, what I want to show today is another way, kind of in this series of ways that you can quick scalp the markets. As you're learning how to do the automation, you can be in every day actively working your account. So let's blow up this chart here a bit. Okay, so here is the typical, or which I show frequently, a 55 grid Renko. I like grid Renko settings for different uses between 37s and about the 60 or 70 level. That's in the data series setting for the grid Renko. This is 55. I have the Igrid scalper indicator. Remember, the Igrid scalper has numerous adjustments. We have the recently added fourth style of final smoothing, and I have that on a 319 4.8 color set as such. And let me turn off price markers. So anyhow, that's what the indicator is set at. Now, what I've added, and this is now in the NT8 downloads room, just a simple indicator. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's based off what they call adaptive MA principles, if I remember right. So anyhow, I've put it up in the downloads room. Let's take a quick look at that. So anyhow, you'll see it right there with all of our other downloads, all kinds of downloads. Stuff keeps getting added to the NT8 program. More big stuff on deck. So just wanted to show you that. So it's already been added. So let's go into the overall indicator. It's called the Grid MA. So grid _ MA indicator. And I'm going to show you some ways that you can adjust it. First of all, I have mine set up as a dot, as a line with a thickness of 5. Now you don't have to go dot. You could go solid. And see, it's a solid. I don't care for that. Just, everybody's got their own thing when it comes to visualization. I like the dots where I can see it, but it's not too overbearing on top of my price charts. And this color you don't have to worry about. You control the upslope and downslope colors here. And I turned off price marker. Now, the filter has unique adjustability. We'll get to the period last, but the filter, watch what happens if I start as low as like a 0.1. So a 0.1, you can use decimals. The indicator, it's more of a curve, like a standard moving average. Let's go to like a 0.5. The curves will start flattening out a bit. Go up to a 0.9. And we're still in a look where the indicator will have some curviness to it. But once we start getting up to, let's go like 1.3, you're going to start seeing it flat spotting at the rotations. Let's go up to a 1.7. And then let's jump, and you can start seeing flat areas. And that's what I'm looking for this style that I'm working with here. So I'll just go to a 2. And that's perfect. Now watch what happens if I go up to like a 4. See, it starts becoming very adaptive. So the higher the number you go, the less and less and less it considers cyclical action in the math, in the way that an adaptive moving average would work. Okay, so let me go like really high. Let's go to like a 7. Just to show you we have all kinds of adjustability in indicators. So that's, I don't know what you'd use it for in that setting, but oh well. So I'm going to go to a 2. Now I'm going to go really high. Watch what happens now if I start changing. Well, let's take the period and go down to like a 3. Okay, it's really responsive to price, almost, not even any different than just looking at the price candles. Let's go to like an 11. starts becoming less responsive to price, but a little bit too cyclical still for me for these lower time frames. So 14, 15, 16-ish works for this kind of little demonstration I'm going to show you. So I'm on a 15. This is what would happen if I jumped up to like a 33. So it starts, becoming less and less responsive to price and so on. So I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm talking about. Just like any other indicator, the period has a lot of control over how responsive or not responsive it is to price. So I'll stick with 15 for this exercise. Okay, so here's the evening into the overnight session, U.S. time frame based, about 1 in the morning, Chicago time. DAX future starts picking up 2 in the morning. EU markets, cash markets kick off. We did have a dip and lift back with the Igrid indicator, all green. An Igrid indicator has lots of adjustability. I have it on a cycle MA. That was another new thing we just added to the mix for the group. The fourth type of final smoothing you can use after the core smoothing. I have it set as a 3, 19, and 4.8. And again, let's just watch what happens the Igrid when we play with the sensitivity setting. Let's go to like a 2. That takes the trend bias portion of the indicator and makes it hyper responsive to price. Let's go up to like a 3. I'll see it start backing up. That's almost too sensitive of a setting. And let's go up to a 4. See how it's starting to back off? Back off a bit more. It's starting to step back from price. 4.5. And let's just go like up to a 6, just so you can see what the adjustability does. So now I'm just seeing the bigger structural moves of price. So no, this isn't a SSL. It's not a super trend. It's not an adaptation of a parabolic support resistance. It's none of those regular typical indicators. It's all made original. But anyhow, I'm going to go back to 4.7, 4.8. That's fine. 4.9. I'm going to go 4.8. And I'm on a 19 for OMA length. And voila. So anyhow, it's all set. So if you were EU session based and you see a pullback like this in the grid MA and lift back through the trend bias portion of the indicator, that's a very nice long signal. And that worked out. Now, after the period, or from about 7:32 U.S. Central Time, kind of going forward, is when I pay attention and start seeing typically more significant moves. See how the indicator crosses and plots one dot below the Igrid scalper's trend bias portion of the indicator. So I put a blue line there, a Dodger blue. That would be a short trade. So that would be the first short trade signal in the time window. This is a little bit after the U.S. session opened, probably about 2 minutes after. We did come down. We got a series of higher pivot lows, and we got lift, and we got a dot on the grid MA above. So it's kind of like over-under trading. You're taking one type of moving average, not correlated to the other indicator, two different ways of looking at the price action, and adjusting it a bit so you have some differentiation in the responsiveness from the grid _MA from the grid scalper indicator to find areas where you can be quick scalping. So that was a short setup. Here we got a dot above, long setup. And of course, this is quick scalping, so you don't have like a stop down here. On a setup like this, a stop just above or near the transition point of the grid scalper indicator makes some sense. Here we're getting lift. Well, the grid Igrid scalper is still red, but that's okay because we're kind of following this and using the trend bias portion of the scalper as our over-under. So if we're above it, we can go long. If we're under it, we can go short. So we closed below it, the grid MA closed below, short. We closed above it, long. Decent move, a little bit of a move. We got short, a little bit of a move. And there was a long, chopped around a bit. Market started narrowing its range. You want to get out of markets that are having narrowing of range. It's better to work expanding markets. Regardless, getting in here, and then you got a short signal right down here. Let me move this. If for some reason you were still trading, I mean, there was already some nice moves. But short signal in here, that was one that would have been a loser. Then the short basically didn't really do much, and then you get a long. So you had two losers back to back, nothing major, but then you caught a nice long run, so that pretty much negated. You could have come out of those three trades with one winner, two losers, but been about flat in those three, but obviously all the stuff in the early morning action worked out nice. So it's triggered a short. So in the end, you can make this more responsive to what the market's doing by stepping down your time a bit and then readjusting accordingly. Remember, the lower you go on your time frame, the more you want to desensitize your Igrid indicator, the scalper indicator. The higher the time frame you go, you can dial it in and make it more responsive. It's just kind of a good general rule of thumb. So just wanted to show you some other ways where you can do more simplistic visual type or visually efficient type scalping that's cut and dry. Is my grid MA above the Igrid scalper? Yes, go long. Is it below it? The grid MA, is it now below the Igrid scalper trend bias portion of the indicator? Yes, go short. You can also use it for pickups in uptrends. Same thing in downtrends. Notice how we get the pullback and lift, even though the grid scalper is green, and you get lift. That would be considered like a trend following or trend continuation type entry. So you can use it to work reversals, confirm reversals. You're not right in the middle of the exact turning point. You're waiting for some confirmation and then go. Reversal, you're waiting for some confirmation and go. Reversal, waiting for some confirmation and go, and so on. Waiting for some confirmation and go. So just another way that you can put tools together in ways that can help you have very defined entry points and reasons to get into trades in a mechanical-based approach using various tools of the Igrid system. So there you have it. If you have any questions on anything, just let me know. info@gridalgo.com. And you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. More updates and videos coming out. If not today, for sure some tomorrow and in through the weekend. So we got a lot of stuff that's wrapping up in build. I keep adding some things to some of the various platform programs. And I got a big rush of stuff that's about to hit next. So then lots of new training videos. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, everybody, have a great day. And we'll put up some more videos. I'll probably put up something later in the day if I have time, but for sure, early morning, see what we get out of the open. Okay, talk to y'all later. Have a great day.